Hi, my name's Barrie Crampton. Welcome to another episode of Straight Outta Crampton. Try as I might, I want to find some good news about EVs. Everybody says I'm an EV hater. I'm not. I'm not an EV hater. I just hate what they're doing to the motor industry. And honestly, I really do. It's nothing else. EVs drive fine from A to B. I've said it before. I've got an EV myself and I've run an EV. They're ideal for me. But they're not ideal for everybody. And they're not being sold the way they should be. There's too many people telling lies about them, and there's too many people exaggerating what they do and how much they cost you when it's just not true. I promise you, I've got nothing whatsoever to gain by slagging EVs off. I just find all this ridiculous. People saying the ZEV mandate's working and that EVs are going up in sales when, you know, when it's just, they may be going up, but they're not going up as much as they say they are. Used EVs aren't going up as much. There is definitely something amiss in the market. There is definitely something going on in the market. There is definitely something not right about the used EV market. And to be honest, I'm at a loss for people to say that the ZEV mandate's working when it's killing the business. It's killing firms, it's shutting factories, people in garages are losing their jobs. Garages are losing money, hence people in garages are losing their jobs. You know, it's just not working. Please don't lie. You know, something's got to be done, I agree. Something's got to be done. But pushing EVs is not the right thing at the moment. You are killing the market, and you're also allowing the Chinese to come in and take over our market. You know, I mean, I just don't understand the reason. It can't be for the reasons that they say. You know, clean air in the UK, or we can always do better, but compared to other places, it's not that bad. Compared to China, it's nowhere near as bad as China. 2 million people a year die in China from some sort of pollution, and it's expected to go up. As the ZEV mandate is supposed to be working for us in the UK, in China, the death toll's going up. I mean, I can't believe it, you know. I mean, I understand. You know, I mean, I just can't believe it. Virtue gave a profit warning the other day and warned of cost cutting. Cost cutting means job losses. You know, forget cost cutting. What can you cut? What can you cut in a garage? Advertising? No, you can't cut your advertising because then your sales will go down. You've got to keep buying equipment. You've got to keep putting demos on to hit your target, otherwise you'll lose the agency. So what you do, you make a fewer number of people do the same amount of work, and you cut your costs by cutting staff. You know, there's nothing else. There's nothing else you can do. So anyway, here we go. And to be fair, shout out to Car Dealer today. I don't always agree with what the stuff they do. I think they should ask more searching questions to people when they interview them. Their main audience is car dealers. They should be on our side, and I question their loyalty to car dealers. But here we go. Suzuki to slash UK dealer network as bosses blame impact of ZEV mandate targets. Suzuki to carry out cull of UK dealers. Brand to axe around 30 dealerships from its network. A majority have been given chance to stay on as authorised repairers. Well, that's not a chance. That's Suzuki. You know, that will suit Suzuki. They're getting rid of them as a dealer. What they're going to do? Shut the showroom down and just service Suzukis? Do you think that's get rid of all the salesmen, all the sales staff, the admin staff, and just use the garage, forget about the showroom, and just service Suzukis? Because obviously they weren't selling enough. Otherwise, if they were selling enough Suzukis, they wouldn't cut them. Cuts will leave brand with around 100 retail points. Okay, these 30 dealerships that they're going to shut, what do you think they're going to do? Let me see. Do you think this time next year they'll be selling Chinese EVs? Because I do. You know, just opening the floodgates. Suzuki didn't sell one EV last year. Not one. Suzuki is to slash the size of its UK dealer network, with bosses pointing the finger of blame at the impact of the ZEV mandate. Car dealer has learned that the Japanese brand is to close around 30 sites across the country, taking its network from 129 to roughly 100. Affected retailers were made aware of the decision throughout January, with new UK boss David Catley personally calling every dealer to be impacted. The vast majority of those to be cut off have been offered the chance to stay on as licensed repair centres. Well, you just can't. Licensed repair centres as Suzuki looks to soften the blow the best it can. This seems ridiculous when you consider it that Jeff Buys Cars released a story the other day about the Suzuki Jimny, was it? 4-door, selling out in 4 days. You know, why? Really, why? I'm probably going to have to come back to this story because it just makes me want to tear my hair out. Again, people losing their jobs for what? Just for people to push an agenda. That's all it is. These people, non-profit making organisations, just, and the other, absolute idiots. They just make me sick. Do you know what? I really can't continue with this vlog because it just, I just don't understand it. It really doesn't, you know, you see stuff like this. Since the last decade, Suzuki has significantly reduced its average CO2 emissions worldwide. As of 2024, it was recorded at 81 grams of CO2 per kilometre. Insiders tipped car dealer off to the plans at the end of last week, and Suzuki confirmed the closures when approached. A spokesman for the brand said it had carried out a representation revision due to the implementation of the ZEV mandate regulation. Suzuki recently launched its first UK EV, the e-Vitara, having only avoided ZEV mandate fines last year due to flexibilities within the regulations. Now, I worked out that they would be fined, if they had to pay £15,000 a car, I worked out that it would actually cost them more than the value of shares in a whole, is it Pod Point that have gone down? This was on the 20th of January 2025. A slowdown in demand for battery-powered cars drove the value of one of the country's biggest makers of charging points for electric vehicles by a third yesterday. Pod Point said it brought in revenues of around 53 million in 2024, well below the 60 million it was expecting. So that's how much they brought in, a whole firm, and the shares collapsed. This is only, I'm sure the figure was about 24,000 that Suzuki sold in the UK. So 22% of that, 5,280 times 15,000, equals 80 million. So Suzuki have avoided the fines by flexibilities, which means they can buy credits off another company. They can mortgage sales from the future for the next 3 years, I think it is. But after 3 years, you've got to pay the piper. So Suzuki would have been fined more than the whole value of a company that makes electric vehicle chargers. I mean, Christ, don't take money off them. If you're going to fine them, ask them to do something that benefits the EV community. Don't take money off them and then spaff it away on something else. When you're killing the UK motor trade, you know, don't take any notice of these people, honestly, that say the ZEV mandate is working. It's not. It's not working at all. Don't take any notice of these. I mean, just have a look at this. These are the people that you get involved with. And honestly, the more I deal with people who have EVs, the more I want a V8. And I've got an EV myself, which I love. The year-on-year sales decline of ICE vehicles is the thing that oil zealots are desperate to cover up. For example, just look at this, and he's retweeted my calculations, which are absolutely, he's not disputed them, because they're right. I've used the SMMT's figures. My calculation, EV sales in January, one of the best months, are down by 32.2% on December. December's one of the worst months for car sales. January is one of the best. And yet EV sales have gone down. But sure, have it your way, the ZEV mandate is working. I've never seen such desperate barrel scraping creative writing in all my life as the shite the EV spokespeople are coming out with this week. EV sales down by 14,022 from last month. ICE car sales up by 10,620, or 35% of the total EV sales. There's the figures. There you go. And then you go and you look at the replies. You know, Kate, Florence and James from Cleveley Autos, who, you know, seemingly have a good business. Barrie, who, they've called me names before. And then you've got Mark Evans. I don't know who Mark Evans is, but he's pathetic. Talk about scraping the barrel to justify your agenda. The man is on another planet. All true. Why am I on another planet? Everything's true, backed up with figures. How and why am I on another planet? What agenda have I got? I don't want people to lose their jobs. That's my agenda. Kate, Florence and James, I avoid him now because I genuinely think there's a cognitive issue at play. Again, facts and figures. I've pointed facts and figures out to them before. They can't dispute my facts and figures. So what they do is, you know, call me names and say, there's a cognitive issue at play. Now, you know, let's just think about that. My mum at the end of her life got dementia, and it's a horrible thing to watch. You know, someone you love who struggles to recognise you. But because I'm pointing out things about EV sales which are wrong, and if they're not wrong, point it out to me. If you're so clever, point it out to me, correct me. If I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up. Don't call me names. And the other thing is, don't call me anything that you wouldn't call me if you were sat there. Do not. Okay? Cognitive issues. Cognitive issues are problems with a person's ability to think, learn, remember and communicate. They can be caused by a number of health conditions, medications or other factors. Symptoms: difficulty concentrating, memory loss, difficulty understanding, difficulty speaking, mood changes, loss of motivation, being unaware of surroundings, difficulty making decisions, difficulty filtering out distractions, difficulty finding the right word. Well, I've probably got that, to be fair. Causes: brain or spine tumour, cancer treatment, medication side effects, sleep issues, infections, vitamin B12 deficiency, thyroid, kidney or liver problems. You know, I mean, is it me who's got cognitive issues? Because there, right at the beginning, Barrie who? I avoid him now because I genuinely think there's a cognitive issue at play. Well, no. You avoid me now because we had a discussion, you were completely wrong, and then so was your husband, and I pointed it out. That was it. That was the reason. You avoid me because I pointed out that you were wrong and I was right. Mark Evans again, amazing how the fact that petrol cars are 15% down and diesel cars 7% down for the same period compared to last year is totally irrelevant. But the fact EV sales are up 41% is a conspiracy based on lunatic tendencies of a deranged used car salesman. So I'm deranged as well now. Mark here, I'm deranged. Oh, he's got a dog. I like his dog. EV driver with home, solar and storage, Southampton Football Club. Dogs make the world make sense. Totally agree with him. Totally agree with him. He's got 203 followers. These people are horrible. And to be fair, they just, here we go. I don't know where this has come from. Kate, Florence and James. I've been told varying reasons on numerous occasions about the UK's and global EV sales. Wait until January, all pre-reg, just a fad. Well, those figures confirm it's the pre-reg. It seems diesel was a fad, albeit a long one. That's definitely over. Privates are buying more diesels now than they are EVs. So when it comes down to a choice, privates will choose a diesel over an EV. More importantly, we should look at sales decline of ICE cars. Well, why? You can't, you know, they're being faded out, but it's not a recent thing. They've been nosediving for years. We're now moving towards less polluting, less energy intensive and more reliable cars. Looking forward to the feedback on this. Tesla sales down, unsurprisingly. Why are Tesla sales down unsurprisingly? You know, they run a fleet of EVs. They're from China, where pollution is at worst. I don't get these people. I don't get them. Anyway, thanks for watching this honestly, I can't tell you how depressing this news is coming in all the time. When it could be so different. They could be sold properly without these people. And these people, to be fair, these people, if they shut the trap, I'm sure EVs would sell better. So please, do us all a favour. Stop calling people names. Let them make their own decisions on features and benefits and the truth. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.